So now in this video, let's play with the gestures because so far we haven't done anything related to gestures. So now in this video, we'll be rotating and translating the cards, right? When we drag our fingers on the cards, right? So let's do that, right? So you will find this animation in most of the dating applications, right? Okay. So let's begin. So here I have created just a basic project which is just rendering the cards on the screen. So I have this data array and I have inside this array I have an object with the ID and with the URL, and this is basically a random image which I am getting from Unsplash API, right? And I am using this flat list, right, to iterate over this array, and this flat list is rendering the cards, right? Okay, so it's not at all a big deal, right? Because we have done that so many times now. So I have this basic empty project, but I haven't done anything related to animation yet. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all we'll be requiring this animated module, and we will be also requiring pan responder, right? Because we are going to do something related to gestures. For that we need this pan responder as well. Okay, so now we will initialize some stuff in here. So first of all, I'll be initializing the position, position, in position, and equal to new animated dot. Now this time I'll be using value xy, right? Because I need that 2 dimension, or maybe let's see if the value xy is required or not. So initially this will be 0 and y will be also 0, like so. Okay, now we need to initialize the pan responder as well. For that I can use this const pan and equal to pan responder, and it takes an object. Now in this object first argument we will give on start. Why the hell? Okay, I need to create call one more thing, that is I want to invoke from pan responder dot create, yeah, this one. And now inside this I can pass on start. Yeah, on start should set pan responder, and this will be set to true, right, like so. So we have seen in a basic, right, when I was teaching you the gesture handler, when I was teaching you some basic stuff related to this gesture handling, we have seen that in that video, right? Yeah, what all these things mean. If you haven't seen that my basic gesture handler animation video, you can watch that first, because in this video I'll be not explaining much related to gestures. Okay, so first of all we need to set it true, right? In order to something related to gesture, in order to do something related to gesture, first of all we need to make it true, right? And then in here we can call on pan responder, on pan responder, on pan responder move. Yeah, on pan responder move. This is also a kind of a callback, right? When we will be dragging our fingers, this function will get call in here, and function calls with the argument event and gesture, right? We have seen in our previous video. Okay, so we'll be doing something related to that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's do that in here. So there is an alternative syntax, as I told you, right, in the previous video. So I'll show you both the ways in this video as well. First let me show you a difficult way, which you will find in the most of the documentation, or let me show you first an easier way. In here I will be updating the position value. So here I can use this position dot set value, right, set value, and this will be in here I need to set the x value to gesture, gesture dot dx, or not dx, and I think I need only the x value. I don't need to do something related to y, because we will not be translating the card in the y direction. We will be all just translating it in a x direction. Yeah, for that we just need to give here x. Okay, so this is the one of the way, right? We are updating this position, right, by using the set value, and we are updating this x position with the gesture.xy, which with the finger position, right, with the finger position. So this dx is basically the position of my finger, right, and I'm assigning that position of the finger to this x. Accordingly we will be giving this position to our card, right? So a card will be animating. Now this is one of the way, right? I can comment this, or I can put it on a control Z. I can put this on a new line, right, and then I can comment this whole thing in here, control slash, and there's an alternative code, right? So for that, here you will find that most commonly in the documentation in this way, right? So here we can use this animated dot event, right? In the event, first of all, here in event we need to give an array. First argument will be null because we don't have to do something related to this event. We don't need to do something related to this event. We want only something, we need to do something related to this gesture, right? So first argument is null, and then second will be an object, and in object we have something dx, right? We have seen this, right? In here we have something called as dx in this gesture, and I'll be mapping this dx value to this position dot x, like so. So yeah, this code is equivalent to this what we have written in here. So I'm just changing the position x to the my finger position, right? Okay, so now let's add this position, right, in our card, right? So to make this card animatable, I'll surround this card with the animated view, right? animated dot view, like so, and I will grab this, or I will put this all the code inside in here, and I will give this a little style, style style, and I'll give transform, transform, and it is an array, and we will be translating in only in the x direction. So here I can add translate x, just this, and this will be equal to the position, right? Position and dot x, yeah, dot x. Okay. And one more thing, we want this pan responder to take in action, right? Pan responder should be responsible for, right, dragging and all those stuff. So here we need to initialize this pan responder with this view, or we need to link that pan responder to this view. For that, here we can use a spread pen and pen handlers, like so. We need to do this as well, right? Okay, let's save this and let's see if this something works in here. If I'm dragging this card, okay, so here you can see I'm able to drag all the cards in this x direction. Oh, this is beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, we are able to translate this in the x direction, right? Okay, so whenever I'm dragging my fingers, this event is getting fired and it is updating the position x, right, to the finger, to my finger position, and accordingly we have assigned this translate x to the position, and this position is continuously updating, right? This position is continuously updating. That is where we are able to see the translation, right, every time when we are dragging our fingers. Okay, but only in x direction, right? If you will add here position y, then you will also be able to translate this in a y direction as well. If you will add position y to this, translate y to this. Okay, but we don't want that. Okay, now as you can see, I want this only first card to have the animation stuff. I don't want the second card to animate. I want just to first card to animate, right? And when first card will finish an animation, or the first card will move out of the screen, then I will animate the second card. Right now all the cards are being translating, and this is something which I don't want. So for that, maybe what we can do, we can create a separate function for this card. Yeah, that is more better, I guess. So in here I'll be getting const, let's give it a name of card, CARD card view, and I will copy all the stuff of the card, control X, and I will be putting it in here, control V, right? And in here I'll be passing this item, right, because we are getting this URL, so I'll be passing item, item. Okay, and I need to put a return keyword in here, right? And not like that. Okay, now I can call this, right, in here card view, right, and with the item as an argument, right? And we are getting this item from in here. Let's save this and let's see if everything works as it was working earlier. Okay, everything is still working. Oh, so I want to give this animation.view only to the first card. For that, here we can take advantage of the index. We can destructure the index from the options, right? Now what we can do, we are returning this view in here. If index is equal to 0, then we will be returning this view, right? Else we will be just returning this empty view. Not control C, and we will be returning just this card, right? Yeah, so yeah, I think this is fine, right? So yeah, so if index is 0, then only this we have given this first card only this animated, and pen responder, the second card and the third card and the fourth card and all other card doesn't have this animation stuff, right? Animation stuff. Okay, let's save this and let's see. Now we should be able to only animate this first card in here. Okay, I haven't put a return keyword, maybe. No, why I'm not. Okay, first let me reload this. I think I need to put a return keyword in here, maybe. Okay, let's save this, and or we can wrap this with another view, right? Yeah, we can do that with just simple view. Like so. If we save this, now everything should work. Okay, now we are able to only translate this first card, right? Okay, it's fine. Now with this translation, I want this card to rotate also. I want this card to rotate a little bit, right, when I'm translating this. And for that, again, we know that in order to perform this rotation along with the translation, we need to interpolate over the position, right? We need to interpolate over the position. So let's write the code in here of that. So I'll be making constant variable with the name of rotate, and we'll be interpolating over the position. So I'll interpolate over it, interpolate. Interpolate. Why the hell I'm not getting suggestion? Position dot interpolate. When I don't get suggestion, I think I'm doing something wrong, maybe. Oh, I need to interpolate over x. Yes, okay, that is, I know that is I was doing wrong. Okay, so I need to interpolate over the x. So here here you can see now I'm getting session interpolate. So I'll be interpolating over x, and inside this I need to give input range. Now input range will be okay, so we are translating this. Okay, so this input for this input range, I'll be using something called as dimension, and I'll be accessing the whole width of the device. Why? I'll just explain in a minute. Okay, and here I'll make a constant variable screen screen underscore width, and this will be something from dimensions dot get, and yeah, screen and the width of it. Yeah, okay. Now in here I'll be passing a negative of screen width and 0, and positive screen width, like so. And the output range will be, I'll explain you in just a second. Output range will be maybe minus 120 degree DEG, not in capitals, DEG. Okay, and 0 DEG and 120 DEG. Okay, so now when we will be translating our cards in this very end. So when we will reach in this very end, like right here, so this will perform minus 120 degree, because we are moving in a left direction in order to rotate this card, or when we are translating in a left direction, for that we need to give this negative, and when we are translating in this right direction, we need to give a positive value. And if we are translating in a left direction, right, So we'll be rotating this card anti-clockwise. For that I am here written a negative degree, and if we haven't translated, then this will perform 0 degree rotation, and if we are translating in a right direction, that is in this direction, in positive direction, this will perform a clockwise rotation of 120 degree, right? Okay, so this is the logic behind that. ROTAT. Okay, so now let's apply this rotate to our card. Yeah, in here we can apply that ROTATE, rotate. Rotate is equal to rotate variable, rotate variable, constant variable which we created above. My bad. Okay, let's save this, and if we have a look now, and if we translate this now, here you can see we are getting this rotation, right? And rotation is too much, I guess. Rotation is too much, so I can decrease maybe this 120 to, let's say, just 100 degrees, and let's see how it looks like now. Okay, rotation is too much, I guess, and it's little bit less, but we can maybe, let's say if I put here 90, then how it looks like. Let's save this, and now rotation is too less. Okay, and now rotation is too less, or maybe we can even here write 45, so now the rotation will be more or less. Let's see, 45. Let's save this, and now let's have a look. Oh, now rotation is too less. Okay, now this is amazing. Okay, this is fine. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so we are translating and we are able to rotate as well. Okay, so now I want, if we or rotate our card, or we translate our card all the way to here, our card should get disappear, and this second card should come in the above in here. Or if I let's say if I swipe this card in this right direction, right, it should move all the way. It should move outside of the screen, and the second card should come in the front in here, in this above, right? So the second card should come here above. And if I, let's say if I will drag just a little bit, then card should reset its position. Okay, so 3 things I want to do in here, so let's do that as well. So now, yeah, okay, so let's do that as well. So in order to do that, we need to add something that is on pen responder release. So I'll get rid of this view, or maybe I can keep this for your reference. I'll put a comma in here, or in here I'll add on pen responder release, right? When I'll be releasing my finger, right, when I'll be just dragging this card all the way right in here, and I'll be releasing my finger, then I want something to happen. So then we'll fire a function, and in this function we are receiving event and gesture, and now here we'll be putting if condition, if gesture dot dx is greater than, okay, now here we need to put some threshold value of this swipe, right? Okay, so here I'll make a constant swipe underscore tresh, or I can put everything in a capitals, CWIP, swipe threshold, threshold, and this will be, let's say, half of the screen width. Yeah, screen width, divided by 2, right? So if we will swipe more than the half of the screen width, then yeah, so let me write that further, then I'll explain you. If we are swiping more than the swipe threshold, and swipe threshold is basically the half of the screen, so SWIP swipe threshold, then for now I can just console.log RIGST, right? And I'll put a else if condition in here. If gesture dot dx is less than negative of swipe threshold, then I will console console.log left. Okay, now if I'll save this, now I'll open my console in here. Okay, and let's refresh this or reload this. Okay, so now if I drag this card a little bit, no console log is performed. Now if I drag a little bit card in here more than the half of the screen and I release my finger, then also nothing happens. I need to drag a little bit more. If I release my finger, here you can see left is being printed. Now if I drag my finger more than the half of the screen, right, so here if I release my finger, here you can see right. And if I just drag a little bit, then you will not see any kind of console.log, right? Okay, so this is the logic behind that, right? So you have now might be understood, right, how this code is being performed, right? So if we are dragging it more than the half of the screen, then we are getting console.log like. If you are dragging it more than the, right, so we are dragging, so I have put a negative threshold because now we are dragging it in this left direction. For that we need to give a negative value, and we are getting this console.log left. Okay, this is the simple logic behind that. Okay, so now what we will do if we are if we are dragging in a right direction, I want card should move out of the screen, right? For that I need to again animate that card. So I'll just comment this and I'll animate it. Or we can create a separate function because we will be using animation here as well. We'll be using animation here as well. For that I think we can create a separate function. Okay, maybe in here. So let's give it a name of swiped, right? Yeah, const swiped, and this will be equal to arrow function in here, and it will receive the direction, right? direction direction. And here first of all I will give, or here I'll be using this animated dot spring, right, to animate, and from the current value, right, from the current position to value now in here I need to give x. Now if we are now in here x will be, if we are moving in a right direction, so x this should be equal to this screen width, right, screen width, so that it should move out of the screen. So this x should be equal to the screen width. And if we are moving in a left direction, x should be equal to negative of the screen width. So here I can put here a const, let's say x. Here I can detect what direction is. So here I will be using this direction, and if direction is, let's say rigst right, not like this. If direction is equal to right, then I will return screen width, else I'll return negative screen width, right, negative screen width, like so. And now I can assign this x to this x, like so. And now I need to start that animation in here. Okay, let's save this, and we need to call this swiped, right? So here I'll be calling this swiped, right, swiped, swiped, and with the direction, so direction will be rigst, and in here direction will be left. So I can just get rid of this console.log, and instead of this console.log I'll be calling swiped, 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 like so. Let's save this. Let's see if we are able to do that. So if I release my finger, here you can see, oh, if I release my finger, it is it working, or maybe it is not working? Maybe we have done something wrong in here. What the warning we are getting? Let's refresh this, reload this. No, this is not working, I guess. What is this warning saying to me? Oh, I think I need to give here y as well, because I am here using luxy. Yeah, maybe this is the error. Yeah, so here I'm using this value xy, that is why I think I need to give a y as well in here. So y will be 0. Okay, let's save this. If this was the error, let's try this one more time. If I am releasing it here, okay, now you can see the card. If I'm releasing, card is just animating moving out of the screen. I'll reload this one more time and I'll move this in a right direction, right? If I have moved this in a right direction, if I release this, you can see the card is being moved out of the screen. Oh, we are seeing this a little corner we are getting in here. If I again do that, here you can see we are getting this little corner in here. So maybe you can increase this width, maybe let's say plus 10, right? And here also, here we need to minus 10, maybe let's say. Save this and let's see again. If we release that, okay, so now the card is completely gone. Okay, now let's say if we have just drag a little bit, then we don't want to move this card all the way right to the outside of let's say if I just move this card a little bit, then I want this card to reset its position, right? If I just drag this card a little bit, then I want to reset this card position. For that, here you can put an else condition, else animation animated dot maybe spring, and from the current position to value, and we want to reset it, so x will be 0 and y will be 0. Let's save this, and if I just drag a little bit and I release, oh, why the hell, oh, I need to start that as well. Why I forgot this start. I always forgot that to put this start. Okay, let's try this one more time. If I drag a little bit, okay, now you can see if I'm dragging a little bit, now this card is getting resetting its position, right? And if I'm dragging it more than the half of the screen width, then this card is moving all the way right outside to the outside of the screen. Okay, this is fine. Now I want to ready my the second card, and it should come in here, right? Okay, it should consume this screen, right? So whenever we are performing our swiped, whenever our swiped is finishing, then I want to make my second card ready, right? And to make my second card ready, this start is a good place. We can put callback inside this start, right? When animation is getting finished or when our card is swiped right out of this screen, then we need to make our second card ready, and we can write the code of that in this callback of the start right in here. Okay, because this callback fires when animation finishes, right? Okay, so now first of all I'll be resetting the card, right? I'll be resetting the position dot set value, and x will be 0 and y will be 0, right? Now I want to just remove the first card, right? I want to just remove the first card. So for that I'll be making a state, right? I'll be making a state variable, yep, in here maybe const, and I'll give it a name of, let's say, counter counter, and set counter use state, and initially this will be 0, right? So animation will be only applied to the index of the card which has 0 of the 0 index card. So let me think of the logic. So we'll be adding, or first of all the animation is finished, so right finishes, then you want to update a state. So for that we can use the set counter, and I want to access the current value and I want to increment it by 1. So for that I can use here current current value, which is in this counter, counter plus 1. I can do that, but the better way of doing it is here we can add a callback, right? So here we can get previous state, previous state, and in here I can return previous state plus 1. This is more better way of doing the stuff, right? Okay, so I'm getting the previous state and I'm incrementing it by 1. Okay, yeah. So now while rendering these cards, right, I'll put a here if condition of let's say, yeah, if index my bad, if index is less than, yeah, the counter, yeah, counter, then we will be returning ret returning null, right? We will not be returning any card, right? And else we can do other stuff. Else if we can do other stuff, we can render other cards, right? And in here we don't need this index 0 now because index is incrementing. So if this index is equal to now counter, then we will be animating it, right? Then we will be giving stuff related to animation, right? And I think this should work. Yeah, this should definitely work. uh, let's save this and let's try that. Okay, now if I just move all the way card to outside of the screen, okay, now you can see second card is being uh, coming in this upward direction. Now we can, now this animations has been applied to the second card because here we are writing this index is equal to counter. Now counter has become 1, right? And the index is also 1, right? The index of this card is also 1. So now this animation is being applied to the second card, right? And this here we have returned null for the previous card, so previous card has been completely destroyed, right? So again if we swipe it, this third card becomes ready. Okay, now this index is 2 and this counter is also 2. That is why this animation stuff has been only given to this card, right? Not to this fourth card. Okay, so everything is working fine. So now in here one thing you can notice is when we are swiping this card, right, this second card is straight away coming into the up, right? We want some animation should happen when this card is translating, right, in this upward direction, right? For that we can take advantage of layout animation which we have in, right, React Native. Let me go to the documentation and you can just copy that stuff in here. Okay, here you can see they have written, yeah, layout animations. For that it's too straightforward. We all we need is just 2 lines in here. We'll copy these 2 lines, Control C, and we need to pull out this UI manager, and this is how we can just use it. Okay, so I will paste these 2 lines maybe in here, Control V, and I need to pull out native modules, and I'll copy this line as well, Control C and Control V, and I need to pull out native modules from here, NATIVEMO modules, like so. And from native modules you are destructuring UI manager, and okay, rest everything is fine. Now how to use that? So here we can call layout animation dot spring, right? Okay, and then the stuff related to update, right? Okay, so let's see that. So when we will be performing our animation, when the card is swiped, right? When the card is swiped, that is in here, right? So in here maybe let's try this LA. I'm not sure if it will work. Okay, I need to pull out layout as well, I guess. Yeah, layout animation as well. So I'll need to pull out layout animation from this React Native as well. LAY layout animation, and I'm not sure if this will work or not. LAYOU to layout animation dot spring. Okay, let's try this. Let's save this. And if I swipe this card, and yeah, it is working. Yeah, it is working fine. Okay, yeah, it is animating, right? Okay, so it was straightforward, right? This layout animation is straightforward. Just we need to copy some stuff and we can use it in here, right? When we are swiping our card, right? When the swipe is getting finished, then inside this callback we can perform that layout animation. Okay, now here you can see we are getting a quick refresh in here, and this is because of, I think, because this first view is animated view and the rest are regular view. That is why we are getting a quick refresh in here. So what we can do, we can make this animated, this view also animated, but we will not be giving the span handlers to this view, right? So here we can make this view also animated, like so. Animated like so. Let's save this, and if I swipe this now, oh, still I am getting a refresh. Why the hell is this happening? I'll reload it. I'll do that one more time. sure the why I'm getting this. A quick refresh. I'm not sure why I'm getting a quick refresh when the second card is getting ready. Okay, I think that is solved. Let me try this one more time. Oh, we are getting a quick refresh, right? In this, after swiping this card. Maybe because this card has been given these properties, this style, and this card has not given these styles. And maybe let's say if we copy this stuff, Control C, and if I give this stuff to this card as well, let's save this. And now if we translate, now here you can see all the cards are getting translated. Let's do that. And yeah, I think this was okay. So let's comment these two things, right? Let's comment this and let's have a try this one more time. And if I translate it, okay, yeah, okay, the problem is solved because this was because of this style stuff, right? Okay, so this was a kind of a strange issue, but we solved it, right? So here we can just pass an style with empty stuff. Style, we can just here pass style with empty, right? Let's save this and I'll reload this and I'll try this one more time. Here we can create an animated view with this empty style. This was the reason. Oh, this was strange, right? This was really strange. Cannot connect to development server. What happened to development server? Development server is running fine. Okay. Oh, again I think I need to add a transform in here, and transform should be empty. If that is the reason, maybe. This is really strange. Yeah, that is the reason. Okay. So yeah, you can add transform empty to the rest of the views so that animation should not perform in here. Yeah, I know this is strange, but sometimes things happens, and yeah, we are programmer, we need to figure that out, right? Okay. So yeah, this is it for this video. Now I think now we are done with this project, right? And if you want, then you can stack all the cards, right? Right, you can stack all the cards like we have that in a Tinder application. You can put this card behind one another. For that, you can add position absolute to make a card behind each other, right? But you can do that by yourself, right? It's easy. Okay, so I think this is it for this video. So I'll see you guys in the next video.